Hey guys, what's up? It's Muaaz here and welcome back to another video. So it's kind of a tradition of mine that I upload one of these at the beginning of every year, but this is going to be my best $500 gaming PC build for 2018. I know I'm uploading this on the last day of 2017, but I saw there were some pretty great New Year's discounts on certain sites, so I'd rather some of you guys be able to get in on those rather than me uploading it one day later. But anyways, at the time of me uploading this video, the price does come out to just a little over $500. The prices do fluctuate, so if you're watching this in a few months from when I uploaded it, it could be more than $500 or even less than $500, but for the most part, even after all the price changes, it'll still be around the general range, which is just what we want. Anyways, all the parts will be linked in the description below, and for some components I'm going to be listing 2 or more parts in case one is sold out or maybe one is cheaper, but don't worry because all secondary options listed will be compatible with the rest of the build. But on that, let's get on with the video. So powering our build is actually going to be the AMD Ryzen 3 1200, and if you're new to building PCs or just don't know much in general, I know exactly what you're thinking, and you're probably thinking, oh my god, you chose AMD over Intel, you're so dumb. And that's actually something I would probably say a couple years ago, because it was just kind of warranted back then, but I can't really say that anymore because within these past 2 to 3 years, AMD has caught all the way up to Intel and is able to offer the same, if not better performance for much cheaper prices. I am, however, a fan of the newer Intel Kaby Lake processors, but I felt like the 1200 would just be more reliable in the foreseeable future for like newer AAA titles that are going to be coming out. A lot of people who don't follow along with benchmarks and other tech related news will always think Intel is better, but trust me, this processor is the king of processors when it comes to a budget build like this one right here, as it's coming in at only around like $100 and even comes with its own CPU cooler, so you won't have to spend extra money on a third-party one. Moving on to the motherboard, I'm actually going to link 2 of these in the description below, so don't worry about which one I talk about, as both of them will work with everything else I mentioned in the build. Honestly, just get whichever one is cheaper at the time of you watching this video, but at the moment that I'm making this video, the MSI B350M Pro VDH motherboard is actually the cheaper option. I believe both of the ones I'm going to link are actually just different versions of the same motherboard, so you're really not missing out on anything. Anyways, I believe they're both of a micro ATX form factor, but there's not a whole lot to say about them. They're great motherboards ranging from $60 to $70. They also support the AMD Ryzen CPU that we're going to be using, but they also have a very easy to use BIOS, which I know can be really overwhelming for a first time builder. And lastly, they both hold up to 64GB of RAM, which is plenty more than we need for this build. Overall, I feel like this build itself just allows for some great expandability options in the future in case you do want to make upgrades later down the line when you have more money to play around with your budget and things like that. But since we're already talking about memory, which is also known as RAM, for this build I decided to go with a single stick of 8GB Ballistic Sport DDR4 RAM. I've heard great things about this kit from the last build I did, so I thought I might as well use it again. It's compatible with the B350M motherboard, and I chose one stick over dual channel RAM, as it's fine in terms of performance and leaves more slots open for future upgrades in case you want to add more sticks later down the line. Also, trust me, 8GB is plenty for the games out there on the market today, and even the ones that are going to be coming out in the foreseeable future. And another benefit with this stick of RAM is that the speeds from the stick are fast enough and can easily be upgraded through the BIOS in case that's something you'd like to do in the future. Also, one thing I do want to mention is that for some reason prices of RAM have been skyrocketing as of late, and I really have no idea why. It's like $20 to $30 more expensive than normal while I'm making this video, and I think it's due to the trend of cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. Also, if you are interested in learning more about how to invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and things like that, comment below and I'll make a tutorial. I've been invested for a few months now and I've made some solid profit off of it, so I'd love to teach you guys too and tell you guys how you can get started. Anyways, moving away from everything else, for the storage I'll be linking 2 hard drives, and at the moment the cheaper option is actually the classic Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB hard drive. 1TB basically equates to 1000GB for those of you guys who don't know, and this is probably the hard drive that you're going to be finding in almost every single build on YouTube. That includes builds that go upwards of $1000 just because of how long lasting and reliable this hard drive truly is, and that's why so many people use it. Now the great thing about it is that just for around $50 you're going to be getting 1000GB, which is a pretty great deal if you ask me. The secondary option is the same thing. It's going to be 1000GB just for around like $50, maybe like 46 or something like that, but it's a Seagate drive, so just pick one of those, and just as I said before, just get whichever one is cheaper or in stock while you're ordering parts. That's really how you have to play the game of building PCs. And also, I'm not going to include this in the budget, but this is just like a personal note from me to you guys. I highly do recommend, if you do have the money laying around, to look into a low capacity SSD and use the 1TB ones that I mentioned before as a secondary hard drive. And this way, if you put Windows or like whatever operating system you're using onto the SSD and all your games and programs on the 1TB hard drive, your PC is going to boot up within seconds rather than minutes, and I feel like it's well worth it in the long run. I am going to link a few cheap SSDs in the description below in case any of you guys are interested in purchasing some. Also, don't worry if you can't afford an SSD right now. There are tons of softwares out there that are going to help you be able to switch from a normal hard drive like the ones I mentioned before to an SSD for a new primary hard drive. Anyways, moving on from that, we have the graphics card, and I'm sure most of you guys have been waiting for this part of the video, but I decided to go with the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. Now, I'm going to be linking a couple of these in the description below just because so many of them are sold out or marked up in price due to cryptocurrency demand. So again, please just buy any of them. Each of them work the same with the rest of the build and are gonna cause no compatibility issues whatsoever. So just get whichever one matches your color scheme of the build, whichever one is cheapest, or whichever one is just still in stock when you're looking. Now this is probably the best graphics card out there right now if you're looking for the best price to performance cards. The cheapest one at the moment is the MSI Gaming X 1050 Ti at $150. So that's the one I'm going to be linking in the main part of the description, but right below that you will see all the secondary options I've been talking about throughout the video, such as the motherboard, the storage, and even this. Anyways, the graphics card, also known as the GPU, is usually the most important part of the build and also the most expensive. This version of the card is going to be the 4GB version and should be able to run any game you throw at it in 1080p at 60 FPS. Heck, you could probably even bump it higher, but I feel like 1080p will be the perfect place to sit at for a while prior to expandability later down the line. But anyways, moving on from the 1050 Ti, we've got the case, and for this build I decided to switch things up from my normal builds and instead use the Corsair Spec 01 Carbide Series mid-tower case. It looks pretty cool with the red LED case fan, and it's not like one of those boring cases that are pretty simple and plain, but in case that is something that you are interested in, I'm going to leave that linked as a secondary option in the description below, and both this case and the secondary option are going to be able to house the motherboard and the graphics card perfectly, and those are the two main components you want to worry about when picking out a case, and both of them have plenty of space for hard drives and SSDs along with room for a ton of CPU coolers in case you want to try out different third-party ones in the future. So just as I said before, this build is perfect for future expandability options, and these cases are a big reason why. Anyways guys, closing off the build, we've got the power supply, and for this build I'm actually going to be using the 450 watt EVGA 80 plus white power supply. The reason why I'm not going with like a bronze rated or really anything rated higher than that is just because EVGA is such a reliable brand and their power supplies rarely fail, and they even have great warranty. I believe this one comes with like a 3-year warranty that you don't have to do anything about. You just pay for it, register it on the website, and that's it. So even if you do end up facing some random issue later down the line, you really have nothing to worry about. But just as I said before, EVGA is a pretty reliable brand. I trust them. A lot of other YouTubers do, so that's just my take on things. Also, just for around like $5 more, you will be able to get the 500 watt version instead, so I'll leave both of those linked in the description below for you guys to decide which one you want to pick. But anyways guys, that really does wrap it up for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button. It really does help me in getting my videos out there to reach a bigger audience. Comment below if you guys want more videos like these. I really love making them, doing the research, and putting the parts list together, so if that's something you guys like, please let me know, and also feel free to subscribe if you want. I'm on my way to 100,000 subscribers, and all help is appreciated. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.